So I wanted to make this video today to kind of give everybody just some hope and inspiration and let every single man watching this know that life does get better with age. Okay, as you get older, life gets a lot better as long as you're putting in the work and as long as you're doing the things needed to be a happy, healthy, successful man. So those are the three words I'm going to focus on today: happy, healthy, and successful. You want to have all three. And as I get older, I'm seeing the power of having all three and the importance of having all three: happy, healthy, and successful. And to start off this video, I'll just put up some pictures of me when I was younger. Okay, so here's me when I was really young. As I get older, every single kid, when they're maybe in their early teens, you go through that awkward stage. Okay, and as you get older, you start dating, you start learning how relationships work. Okay, you start finding your path in life. You start building your purpose, your career, your mission, your hobbies, your friends, and you start to see what you like and what you don't like. But when I look at myself now and I see how different I look, okay, even within the past just couple years, okay, when you get older, you mature. Here's a video that I took last week of me shoulder pressing 95-pound dumbbells. And I'm just showing you this and I'm explaining this because guys forget, okay, or guys don't even see, or guys don't even realize that our time to shine is later in life. Your time to shine is later in life, okay? And you get better with age. You get sweeter with age. You learn how to do things. So today what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you the three things that I think is most important: happy, healthy, and successful. Okay, and the reason why I think I am qualified to tell you this or to teach you these things is because I've done a lot of the things that most men think will make them happy. I've done a lot of the things that most men will think will bring fulfillment. Okay, and as I age, I want to share that experience with you. So the first thing we're going to talk about is happy. Okay, happiness. This is something that in the manosphere or in other dating content channels, people will tell you to not prioritize happiness. I think that this is total bullshit, because if you wake up every day and you're not happy, you're going to have a miserable existence. Well, how do you actually be happy? Okay? If we optimize for happiness and we say, hey, as a man, I'd like to be happy. I only have a limited time on this earth. Okay? God put me here for a reason. I have value to me. I have value within who I am, my masculine core, if you will. Well, what are the things I have to do to be happy? What would happiness even look like? Okay, first and foremost, it starts by setting up your life in a way where your day-to-day routine is something that you like. One of the things that I personally have attempted to do, okay, or that I do, or that I believe in, is I don't believe in setting alarms. Okay, so I'll give you an example. I hate setting alarms. I hate waking up early. I like to wake up naturally. If I wake up naturally early, great. If I wake up naturally late, great. But one of the things that was important for me is I wanted to set up my life, okay, where with my work, my career, everything, I get to choose when I wake up in the morning. Very important to me. Okay, happiness starts with your day-to-day routine and creating a life where every single day, at least you can wake up and you're at a C+ or a B- level at minimum, where you're hey, life ain't too bad. Maybe you have sunshine, maybe you have a good path or a good bike trail to go on, maybe you have a good gym, you have a few close good friends. Okay, but happiness at a base level starts by you setting up your life in a way where you're content and happy with the life that you've created. Now, once you have that base happiness, it's easier for a woman to want to be with you or to stay with you, because she sees that your core identity at some level, you're happy with who you are. Okay, so I think that that's very important right away. Setting up your routine day to day, from the meals you're eating, the time you're waking up, the place you're living, the location that you're living. Another thing is location. I lived in a cold environment for a lot of years. I moved to a warmer environment. I feel better. My hair's more blonde from the sun. My skin is more tan because I get more sun every day. I feel a lot better. Okay, so that's important, a base level of happiness. Now, Another way that you start to optimize your base level of happiness is by auditing who is in your social circle. As I've gotten older, not only have I realized that people I would associate with or talk to, like, I was having meaningless conversations, but like when I really looked at the core people that I need in my life, a lot of times it's just family and a few close friends. You don't need a lot of people. And if you tell yourself that you need a lot of people, this is what you have to remember. You're going to spend a lot of time in your life chasing shallow relationships or, interactions that don't really go anywhere with people. But what you have to remember is this, like, if you fast forward your life 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, 5 years down the road, things will probably change. And a lot of the people that you know today, or that you think you know, or that you think you associate with or hang out, there's a very good chance or a very good probability that you'll never really see those people ever again, because things change. People get married, people have families, people progress with their career, people move to different locations. It's just the way the world works. It's just the way things are. And the last piece of happiness that I think is really important is understanding that day to day when you're living, okay, you want to be working towards something, okay, you want to have that goal, that vision, that purpose, okay, but you don't necessarily want to live just to work. I think a lot of guys, they get in this mindset where they constantly tell themselves they need to grind and they need to work harder and they're not good enough. But if you're in the mindset where you're literally just living or existing to work, you have to understand that a lot of times life will pass you by and you'll miss out on a lot of the good, meaningful relationships or people in your life that should be there. Okay, so that's first and foremost, happiness. That was the first piece that I wanted to talk about today. The last two was happy, healthy, and successful. Now, what does it mean to be healthy? What it means to be healthy, okay, I look at my own health from a few different ways. The first thing that I'm going to look at, okay, is I want to make sure that when I look in the mirror, I look lean and fit and strong, because I wholeheartedly believe that that will affect your confidence if you don't like how you look, okay, if you don't have your fitness dialed in, which will negatively impact the first pillar that I just talked about, or the first thing, which is your happiness. You want to live every day in a way where you're healthy. So what that means is, like, when I take a look at the foods that I'm eating and the things that I'm doing, I'm not necessarily optimizing just for how that food will taste or how that will make me feel if I eat that, specific food. Every single time I look at food, every single time, I've been this way for 10 years, I'm looking at the fuel. What is it made up of? What is the nutritional value in it? If I'm going to put this in my body, is this going to be good for me? Is this going to help me? Is this going to help me be strong and powerful? Is this going to help me build muscle? Is this going to help me be fit? Is this going to help me be healthy? All of these things are so important. Now, when you have your health on point, things change, because there's a lot of people who are unhealthy. So let me give you a few examples. When you're healthy, women treat you better in conversation and with communication. When you're healthy, it almost commands like a different base level of respect that most people don't necessarily get, because it shows that you don't take care of yourself. And a lot of times when you're healthy, you'll notice that people overall just respect you more, and when you speak, it has a different level of emphasis and people notice, and also they a lot of times will listen in more. So it's like if you see a person who's fit or attractive or healthy start speaking, it's like, since you see that they take care of themselves, part of you will almost listen in closer, because you will assume that whatever they're about to say has value, because what they're demonstrating, at least on the physical side with their body, in some way, shape, or form, okay, demonstrates that they have a base level of success. Your health, I believe, impacts your relationships. Your health, I believe, impacts your money-making capabilities, okay? And I'm telling you this because after all of my experiences in life, I've dated, for the past 10, 11 years. I've been an entrepreneur now for almost a decade, okay? And I've had a lot of the experiences that guys want to have. And the reason why I'm telling you these things and why they're important is because since I have lived my life this way, I know how much not only this can impact you, but I also know how well this stuff works if you focus on these pillars: happy, healthy, and successful. Now, your health, okay, is so important. The one thing in my life that I have never neglected, and the one thing in my life that I have always made time for, and the one thing in my life that comes before almost anything, is my fitness. I will put my fitness and my health before work a lot of times, okay? And I even believe that when you have relationships with people, family and friends, they need to be well aware that fitness and your health is very important to you. Because what that does is it sets the expectation where they know that you're going to be dedicating some time, either each day or each week, to going and doing what you need to do to stay fit and strong and powerful and healthy. So that's the second thing that I think all men need to really focus on. Now, the third thing, okay, the sun's coming out a little bit. I might transition over to here. The third thing that we need to discuss is successful. I think it's important that every man pursues success, and you are going to have your own definition of what success looks like, and that's okay. When I was younger, my definition of success was essentially probably a lot of like materialistic things, and I realized like how that makes me, or how that makes any man, a weaker person as they age, because you're chasing a lot of these like worldly things that it's not like are going to actually bring you any fulfillment. But your definition of success will look different with age. As I age, I think the important thing to me is that the people who are in my life I'm close with, and I'm developing those good relationships, and I'm actually like headed somewhere, okay? You have to identify and pinpoint what success actually is for you, and then you have to pursue that relentlessly. You have to pursue that relentlessly, because the thing that you have to remember is far too many people give up on their goals way too soon. How I have always looked at success is I just tell myself, hey, I'm going to pursue success for my whole life, whatever that looks like at that time. I'm not going to fall into passiveness. I'm not going to fall into stagnation. I'm not going to fall into the trap of me just sitting and not performing. I'm going to keep persevering and trying. And when you look at life that way, when you say, hey, the last pillar of my life, which is the success pillar that I wanted to talk about today, when you say, hey, that right there, that success pillar, okay, it's not an end goal, it's just a way of life. Just like eating healthy or exercising for a lot of people is a way of life, success is a way of life. And you're either optimizing for success or you're not. Now, this is what I want to explain to you, because I've met a lot of different people over the years. So I've met people who have, let's say, a lot of status. I've met, people who are financially successful. I've met a lot of different business owners, entrepreneurs over the years. I've just met a lot of different people, okay? What I can tell you is this. The guys who have success, you'll notice they don't invest a lot of time, energy, or sentences into random filler conversation of stuff that they don't actually need to know. If you know all of the little details about a bunch of different things, and what I mean by that is like, this is the music every time, at these types of venues or nightlife at this part of town, and this is the type of, or did you hear what happened to this professional athlete? Did you hear what happened to this celebrity? Anytime I see guys like that, not always, okay, but typically they are not at the point in life where they want to be. That's just one thing that I've noticed. And it's not because knowing those things or knowing a lot about a bunch of different topics is bad. It's not like that's bad. But this is what I can tell you if you want to be successful. You only have a certain amount of mental mindset bandwidth. There's only so much you can remember. There's only so much you can actually do. So in order for me to get to where I'm at in life, or the things that I've done, what I'm constantly doing is I'm filtering for the word no. Do I need to know this? No, scrap it. Do I need to know that? No, scrap it. As a man, when you're walking through life, you got to say no to a lot of things when it comes to detail that you don't necessarily need to know, that will not help your future survival. And that's how I look at things. Okay, when I look at things like that, what that does is it leaves a lot of blank space in my mind for me to remember things that will help my survival, will help my future career, will help me know things about specific things that I need to know to be a good, capable, strong man. So that is what I've noticed about successful people is they typically have a very deep level of knowledge or information in just a few topics, and the rest of the things they kind of discard because they don't necessarily need it. They are optimizing their life for the building blocks and the steps to get ahead in their area or in their scope of practice or their career that they are really pushing forwards towards. So you might be wondering, okay, you told me at the beginning of this video that life gets better as a man. How does this all connect? Okay. As a man, when you learn these things about yourself and when you carve out an identity and a personality and you know who you are, you naturally will attract women because you have a lot of base pillars of masculinity that younger guys just won't have, because it takes time to develop as a man. It takes time, and it takes years, and it takes patience. It takes a lot of problem solving too to be the type of guy that you want. It's going to take a lot of failures or struggles maybe in your career or in school or in business if you're an entrepreneur. It's going to take a lot of maybe dating problems or heartbreaks to learn what to do and what not to do. It's going to take all of these different things, okay? And you have to basically take all of those on the chin and keep pushing forward. And that's why, as a man, when you see a guy who's resilient and stoic, it's like you almost respect him instantly more, because you can tell he's been through things in the real world, and you can tell that like he's still here pushing forward. So this is what I want you to remember. In order to be a happy, healthy, strong, successful, capable man, you want to really set up your life, and you look at these three pillars. You say, how can I wake up every day and be happy, healthy, and successful? If you do that, you'll create an ecosystem of being an attractive man that goes way deeper than strategies or tactics when it comes to, just say this out at the party to hopefully get the girl to be interested in you. Like, what I'm teaching you goes so deeper. It's overall personality, conviction, congruence, and knowing yourself. And if you can do that, you're going to have a way better life than most guys.